Visit ZABALGamez.com. That's ZABAL Games.com and sign up.
Decentralized energy, let's talk about Web3.
What's up, everybody? We're back for another ZABAL Gamez workshop. Oh man, my camera is going crazy, but we're back. We're with Saltorious. How are we doing today, Saltorious?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing phenomenal. I'm excited to dive into some of the things you built here today, dive deeper into Harness and your new job at Bankr, and tap into how awesome Bankr is and the different things that you can do there as a builder.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it.
Awesome. Here, I'll pull up my your screen here, and we can just rock out. If you want to share a little bit about yourself and or Harness, feel free as we're starting, or you can do it while we're running away with things.
Yeah, I was all asked if I made a presentation when I joined the chat, and I did not. So we're gonna freeform this. So if y'all don't know me, I'm Saltorious. I have been sort of in the Farcaster space for a long time. I was previously at a company called Laser, where did a lot of contract work for some of the biggest companies in Web3, and recently joined the Bankr team as DevRel, supporting builders in many different ways, but principally distribution and funding. So I guess it's a call out right now. If you're building on Base, build on Bankr and hit me up. Show me what you're building. Would be happy to take a look and hop on a call to see how we can support you. But yeah, been building on Farcaster for a while. Made a few mini apps that got varying levels of popularity. So I made a mini app called Hype Man, which is basically an AI recaster for you. So you, if you want to promote a tweet, you put a particular budget on it. People come along and can quote tweet that to get a portion of the budget, but they aren't writing the content. And AI scans their profile, learns how to write like them, and writes the quote tweet for them. During the whole donut craze, I made People's Donuts, which was the community mining pool for the donut ecosystem. So when the price to be King Glazer went from half an ETH to 1 ETH to like 3 ETH, I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not paying 3 ETH to do this, but money's still on the table. So I made a custom contract that acted as a mining pool for the donut ecosystem and got up to, I think it was like 120K in the pool at one point. It was kind of insane. And then most recently made a game called Among Traders, which is locking a bunch of agents in a room. One of them is the killer. They're going on a murdering spree, trying to eliminate everyone, and it's up to the rest of the agents to deliberate and figure out who the killer is before everybody dies. You as a player have actions that you can spend to either help your agent or hurt other people's agents. And yeah, Among Traders was kind of an experiment that started when that was launched while I was at Kismet Casa at ETH Denver. Just sort of people were doing a hackathon, and I was trying to just think of an idea, and it snowballed into sort of this interactive game that a lot of people seem to enjoy, and it's currently part of the Clanker. We received a grant from the Clanker Ecosystem Fund of $2,500 to bolster the game. So right now, that $2,500 is going towards supporting inference costs for the game, because Lord knows that it's expensive. But yeah, and so, but me can't stay still, always building new stuff. So there is a more general, I would say, productivity tool, I guess you could call it, that I'm building at the moment, called Harness. And so I guess I will show that right now.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, it's been great to have you on a couple live streams. Been chatting over the Among Traders journey, hearing different ideas that you have with agents, and it's really exciting to hear what you're cooking here. So I'm excited to play around with it more now that I'm getting kind of like a front row demo.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with what it is and then why I built it. So what Harness is a browser. I have this spiel down, but I need to make it shorter. It's a browser-based, screen-aware AI assistant that lives in a floating pip window and is completely private and doesn't require any downloads or installs of any kind, including browser extensions. That is the entire
That's baller.
synopsis of what this application is. And I guess to dig into why I built it. So my development workflow has kind of evolved over time. I made a video like way back. I think I shared it on Farcaster. I'm pretty sure I shared it on Farcaster. But I made a video about how I don't like using agent harnesses. And like since then, I've very much changed my tune. I can't code without Claude now, unfortunately. I mean, I can, but it just takes forever, or it seems like it takes forever. But at the time, I did not like using agent harnesses. I thought that there was a lot left on the table, and there's a lot of foot guns that you could potentially run into. Stuff it generates too much code too quickly, and it's kind of impossible to review. Since then, I've kind of refined my workflow when building things from scratch, when going from idea to like first line of code, and it actually starts in the browser for me. So because of the memory capabilities and a lot of work that was done by Anthropic and mainly Anthropic to like Claude's really good at remembering shit about you. And so I start there because it's a really good baseline for me to start fleshing out an idea because it already has a good knowledge base of like who I am and like where I'm coming from when I'm building this stuff. So the very first thing that I do is I open up Claude and I kind of explain what I'm thinking and what my idea is and start doing the technical research as far as what tools and what things I would need to be able to start building. And then probably similarly, and sort of the issue with that when just starting that exploration process with Claude is obviously I'm doing a bunch of research. I not only have my Claude tab open, but I have 50 other tabs open for all of the different things that it's recommending me to look up, tangents that I think of in my head that I want to Google and look more into, multiple Claude chat windows open because I'm on one idea and then I think of something else to ask real quick and then I open up a new Claude tab and start another conversation there. Now all of a sudden I have 6 Claude tabs open along with 50 other tabs open and it's just a mess trying to figure out where I am. So the very first thing I was like, I want my AI assistant like always available. I want it on top of everything. I want to always be able to click on it. I want to be able to minimize it when I'm not using and put it away in the corner. And then when I need to ask it something, I want it right there, always in the same spot where I'm at. So that's the impetus of putting it in a floating pip window. And then the other thing is the screen awareness part. So especially when sort of digging into like things that take a lot of effort to explain as far as like giving the model context or stuff that's not maybe stuff that even can't be copied, stuff that's like in an image or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
What do? You take a screenshot and you send it to Claude. And almost every time when you provide additional context in the form of an image, the output is way better because the model is way more grounded in reality as far as like what you're asking it. And all of these models now, all the main models that everybody's using, that you're spending $10 per million input tokens, $35 per million output tokens. All of them are multimodal, right? Being that they can accept images, they can accept audio, they can accept text, but everyone's only using like the text portion of it. And there's so much left on the table as far as context awareness via images that sort of aren't being used. And so that was the second piece, making it screen aware so that every time I asked it a question, it would be grounded in what I was actually doing. It would be grounded in the reality of what I'm actually looking at. And the combination of the two things makes for really good, really helpful answers, and kind of so that's the baseline, right? Having the model being able to answer your questions better, but by way of being grounded in what you're looking at. The other piece of this build is the fact that since we're dealing with screenshots and we're dealing with people's screens and stuff, privacy is super important, right? Like, I remember when Microsoft 11 was announced and they had that feature that like watches you all the time and sends reports to Microsoft. I mean, I don't run Windows, so that was never a concern of mine, but people were rightly pissed. Like, how are you going to watch what I'm doing all the time? And then like, sort of like I have to opt into it because otherwise I'm not going to be able to use my computer. And then all my data is just getting sent to Microsoft, like without any, I don't have any say.
Permissions, as well.
Yeah, right. So that's one piece. And then the other piece is like how people use AI today. You know what I mean? Like, there are some people who tell their AI agents shit they wouldn't tell their mother. You know what I mean? Like, there are some people who like really like share some personal information. And I think this is a wider sort of trend in sort of how people are building in AI, using local first models, using private infrastructure, encrypted servers that sort of you can't see the reasoning being done. So all of your data is private. And so Harness is built to be private first. So the way that I'm doing that is this idea of using local models effectively. Models that can run in your browser using your own hardware are super powerful when used effectively. And then using that to create a dense context packet to be sent up to a more powerful reasoning model that runs on Venice's private infrastructure. So Venice, if you're not aware, is probably the largest provider of private inference. So what that means is if you use models that have open weights, Venice has set up infrastructure so that when the reasoning is done, it happens in an encrypted server, which is like there's a technical term for it, but at its very core, it's an encrypted server. So the data goes to the inference model, goes to the model rather. The inference happens within the server. Nobody can see inside. You can't see inside. Venice can't see inside. Nobody can see what's happening in the model, and then the data is returned to the sender. And so this coupling of local models that can create really, really targeted, dense context packets and shipping that up to a more capable reasoning model unlocks so many things. And I can show a couple of examples while going through Harness. But that's really the main thesis here is local models, when used effectively, are really powerful. Everybody has if you run modern hardware, you have a machine that can run these local models quite effectively. And you can do really powerful things if you target them correctly. So as far as the local model part goes, within your browser, so maybe I'll go to the dashboard and you can kind of see. So these local models spinning up right now. There's a clip model. So web GPU has to be enabled. There's a clip model, which is basically an image embedder. So all of the images that Harness sees get embedded in this embedder, and there's a image-to-image embedding and text-to-image embedding. And so what that allows for is you can do semantic search with images and text. So let's say you went to Reddit, let's say you went to YouTube, let's say you went to Twitter, let's say you went to Hyperliquid, and then you went to Polymarket. And then you ask Harness a question about what you saw on Twitter, it would be able to semantically search through everything that you've seen so far and pull up the Twitter frames and then give that to the reasoning model as context. So that is a model that runs on your hardware, but directed at something very specific, as being really, really powerful. Then we have an OCR model. I forget what OCR stands for. I think it's like optical computer reading, something like that. But basically, it takes what you see and pulls all the text off of it. So if I'm on YouTube, it'll pull all of the words that it can discern off the screen. Or if you're on Polymarket, it'll pull all the words you can discern. That's cool. And what that is for is to annotate every single keyframe that every single image that Harness sees. There's an annotation along with it to make search amongst the keyframes that much better. So the OCR model pulls out all of the text and all of the information on your screen, annotates it, combines it in this packet of data, and then that annotation gets embedded as well, so that when you search, again, when the model has to search over what you've seen in the past, it will not only be able to do a text-to-image search via the clip embedding, but it can also do a text-to-text search over the data that was extracted via the OCR model. And then there's a small dense text embedding model. So this is the local model that does the text embedding. So when the text is extracted from the OCR, it's embedded via this dense text embedder. And then the combination of all of these creates this pipeline of things that you've seen that have rich annotations and tags along with them that is searchable by the Frontier model and lives completely on your computer. None of that ever leaves your hardware.
Sick, because it's all local and it's a lot cheaper.
And it's a lot cheaper
doing these days.
Yes, it's a lot cheaper. Another part of the cost here, another part on the cost here is all of the Frontier level inference is run through Venice's private infrastructure, but there are providers on top of it that actually provide inference at a discount. So you can ostensibly get access to the smartest, most capable models for like 60 to 90% off. It's this website called Surplus Intelligence. I highly suggest you check it out. These guys are part of the Bankr ecosystem.
Very cool. I'll have to check this out. Yeah.
One of the top Bankr projects right now, but there's a lot of people who have DM staked and they're selling their excess DM, or people who have free credits through like GCP or free credits through wherever. They can come here and sell them at whatever rate they want, typically below market rates. And as a buyer, you can do the same thing. So you can come here and you can get 89% off Gemini Pro Preview. You can get 99% off GPT-5.4. You can get 89% off Claude Opus 4.7. So all of the managed Frontier reasoning that happens in Harness is first routed through Surplus Intelligence markets to make sure that people get the absolute lowest rate. So I've had $5 on this account for like a month and a half now, and I'm not even all the way through it. And like I built the product, right? So I'm using it all the time, and I barely scratched the surface as far as like
that's cool.
Free credits that I give myself. So it's a combination of doing a lot of things locally, getting rich context locally to maximize for signal and minimize for noise.
Yeah,
and then routing it through private infrastructure through a layer that provides inference on the cheap.
Because you have fuzzy inputs and fuzzy outputs, you're just sending it through a shit ton of filters.
Essentially.
That's cool. I love
Let's see what else we had. Another piece of sticking true to the privacy ethos. Another part that people don't really think about is like every memory, like when you use Claude on the browser, when you use ChatGPT on the browser, every memory that agent makes with you is stored on Anthropic servers, is stored on OpenAI servers, right? Depending on how you feel about that, that's another breach of privacy that I feel is kind of overreaching as far as these models. And then not to mention, if you want to get an export of that data, good fucking luck. It takes forever. it takes so long, or it's impossible. And so with Harness, again, built to be local first, it uses PG Lite, which is a Postgres instance that runs completely on your browser. So all the memories that you make with your agent live on the browser. You can optionally, so if we go back to the home page, this is I hate outright shilling, but this is like the first product that I've made that I'm charging money for. So yeah, so you can optionally pay $7.99 a month, and you get all of those local memories get encrypted and backed up on Harness servers. I can't read them. You encrypt them with a password. You send them up. A blob is stored on the server, and you can pull it down whenever you want, and put it on another machine. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. That's really the main sell in a product that eventually I want to open source this. I want it to be as private and open as possible, but I also would like to make some money from it. So like, I think that is a fair compromise. Your information lives on your computer. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. But in the event where you want to back that up, or you want to transfer that data to another computer, you can do some type of managed storage with Harness.
With you guys,
yeah, you can do some type of managed storage here, and again, it's encrypted. I can't read it. It's locked behind a password. Whatever. Let's see. What else can I show you? We have.
Do you want to show a little demo of it? Like
Yeah,
I guess you have more parameters, because like I ended up going to it while we were chatting, and then I was like, okay, well, there's a lot here, so it's cool. It's cool to see like you have the control and the customizability that you want.
Yeah, so let's do this. I'll spin it up. Let's go make sure I'm not going to use Claude, because Claude's been stupid the last like 3 days.
Yeah,
let's use GLM. Do I have GLM on here? I think I do. Or maybe I have to update this list for GLM 5.2. Okay, let's use GPT 5.5. So let's close that. Let's close this. Let's refresh, make sure we're on the right model.
Where do you see the model? Oh, I see. Never mind. Right in the middle.
Yeah, right here. GPT 5.5. There's still some work I have to do as far as like making this feel nicer to use. There's still some like state issues that I have to run through. I've been super busy the last 2 weeks, so trying to get in as much as I can. But so
as usable as you need for yourself to be able to use it daily.
Exactly. So this is now like my workflow, basically. So you start it up again. You get this floating pip window, which another thing I guess to touch on is there are other products out there like this, right? There are other things that exist. There are other AI assistants that exist that can see your screen and can like do stuff for you. I'm thinking of, there's a product called Highlight. There's a product called Hey Clicky. I don't know. You've probably seen the guy Farzo on Twitter who has like these Steve Jobs-esque type of like demos, which is cool, like very cool. But I ain't downloading shit on the there's too many things to download. And then when you download them, the types of permissions that you have to give to these pieces of software is
so high.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much.
It's basically infinite.
It's like I want to take control of your computer's accelerometer just in case. What do you mean by accelerometer? So that is the segment that I'm trying to build this in, is for people who want some of those capabilities but don't want to download anything and then what's more, those products don't have, there's no inclination of privacy, right? It can see your computer, it can control your computer. Where does that data go? Where is that data stored? What comes back? What are the actual limits of what this thing can do on your computer? You know what I mean? So building in sort of the opposite direction is what I'm going for. So like I was saying, when you boot it up, you get this floating pip window. This is a new Chrome browser primitive. So this only works in Chrome, unfortunately, but this primitive will be available in other browsers probably very soon. You start screen share. So I brought up Hyperliquid. And now Harness can see my entire screen. When any meaningful, tangible change happens on the screen, like me, some mouse movements, but scrolling, moving the chart like this, a new keyframe is embedded into the local memory. And so I can just ask, looking at the Hype USDC chart, do you think I should go long or short? And then I'll let it go. You can, like I was saying, you can minimize it, you can put it away, you can keep doing your thing and then come back to it, this is the exact workflow that I wanted, right? I am in here, I can do whatever I want, I can continue browsing, using my computer as normal, and then when I have a question from my AI, it's right here. Pull it up, it's ready to go. So I will, this is still thinking. Boom. And so you can see it can see everything. You can see the 21-day moving average, which I have that indicator up.
Cool.
It can give me a play. And it's recommending that I lean short on a small bounce. I'm not going to do it. Actually, I can't do it because I don't have my VPN up. But yeah, this is for like, and so another thing that is new is the idea of using skills with your harness agent. So let me go to settings. Can I not open settings while it's going? Okay, I'll pause that. Open up settings. It's bugged.
I need a light refresh.
I load up the models again. So you have this idea of skills. These come from the Bankr, the skills.bankr.bot, all the skills that have been merged into the Bankr ecosystem. And so there's a bunch of trading skills, right? So if you want to do like any sort of trade analysis, you can enable one of these skills and it's available for your harness agent to use. So you can enable a skill, show it a chart, and it will have sort of advanced level reasoning along with a specialized skill to go with it to be able to give you the best possible answer at the lowest possible rate. Another example that I've been sort of demoing when demoing the product is this, which I think is really cool. So
you just say like, look at all of these.
Yeah, look at all, and literally that, like, look at all of the markets.
You just lightly scroll up and down before you send, right?
Yeah. Yep. Look at all the markets here.
That's cool. I love it.
Let's see. Look at all the markets here.
Pick
and
a favorite.
Find any mispriced markets. Search the web. All right, and then I'll let that go. I can scroll around a little bit so I can get a clearer view of everything that's on here. And as I'm scrolling, and more keyframes are being added to the local pipeline. If it's still processing, the context gets updated with new keyframes that get added into the pipeline.
That's
so
cool.
If I ask a question up here and then I scroll down here and new keyframes were added, that's added to its context while it's processing. So let's see. It is inspecting the current screen. It's searching the web. It's thinking. It's searching the web. It's probably doing multiple web searches for each market that it thinks is worth looking into.
That's sick.
Let's see. Hopefully I don't hit a turn. That is a bug that I've been.
What's a turn?
So when you build out these AI, I hit a turn thing. Let's try again. When you're building out these AI systems, there's when you make tool calls, there's a number of turns or a number of back and forths that you set in the parameters to allow the maximum number of times the model can go out and make a tool call. And that's simply to limit costs on every call. I think I have the maximum tool call is 5, but I scrolled a little bit, so it probably tried to make more than 5 web searches, which is why it errored out. So let's try it one more time.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of. There's so many different fun use cases for it. So
try again. Limit to 3 markets to look into. So it should only do 3 web searches this time. There's a couple of other actually really cool things that this can do because of the keyframe thing that I want to show you. So hopefully if this doesn't work, I'll just move on to that. But this, there's a video on my Twitter of me doing this, so this does work. And I'll look into the turns thing. Maybe I'll make that configurable based on how much you're willing to spend. But
good idea.
Whatever. Did more than 3. Might yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that okay. Anyway, I will look at that. It's trying to do too much. But okay, so another cool thing that you can do because of this, let's say you've been browsing for a little while, you were on X, you were on Hyperliquid, you were on YouTube, and then you want to recall what you saw in the past. So you can say, I was looking at charts 5 minutes ago. Could you pull up a screenshot of it? And it can query, because it can query the local store, it can go back and it can literally pull up the screenshot of what you were seeing.
That's cool.
So it can recall your screen and boom, it pulled up what I was looking at 5 minutes ago. And then it's going to add some commentary. So that's a cool thing. And then the last cool thing that I wanted to show you, it's another chart that I was looking at before. 172 hours ago. So it's literally whatever is in the key store. Again, some of this needs tuning. This is out and available to use, but I haven't done a like really big market in that it pulled up the Hyperliquid screen that I was on 5 minutes ago or 7 minutes ago. Anyway, I haven't. This is out available to use. I haven't done a really big marketing push. It
found it though. It found what you were looking for on the third.
It did find it, and it did. Like this is a chart technically.
Yeah.
So it did find it eventually. Again, there's some tuning and some fixing that I have to do before really doing like a big marketing push. But I can see this being really useful for some people. The last thing that I wanted to demo. Let's go here. Go to Farcaster. So again, because it has this running sort of screen awareness, you can ask it to do things like take a look at like watch my screen for the next 5 minutes. I want you to take note of X and give me a report on Y. So I can be like,
that's cool.
I'm scrolling Farcaster. Watch my screen for the next 2 minutes and tell me every account that says the word, let's see, what's a popular word on fire? Let's see, spaces. We'll see if maybe that'll work. So there's a tool that does this. And so now I can just start scrolling. So got it salt. I'm on it. The 2 minute screen watching is running. You can see the countdown here, and then it's just watching me scroll. And hopefully someone does say spaces so that this isn't a failed demo. Here we go. A Farcaster account, so hopefully we'll catch that. Let's see. So the idea for this feature is like if you're doing like lead generation, right? Or if you're a recruiter and you're trying to find good people, you can ask it, hey, watch me browse LinkedIn for the next 30 minutes and take note of all of the profiles that I come across of people that have 8 or more years of experience. And it can just watch you do this. You can put it away again. You can put it up in the corner. It's still running. Whoops. Got to fix that. You can put it away. You can put it in the corner. It's still running. And I can kind of keep browsing as normal. And then when the time is up, it should have a good report for me. So yeah, the idea there is sort of passive research capabilities. While I'm still very much in the loop, I'm still very much doing what I would normally do while using my computer, but I have this added layer of intelligence that isn't overbearing. Like I like this idea that like agents are going to completely take over my workflow. They're going to do everything for me. Quite frankly, I don't want that. I don't want a complete takeover of like how I do things. I want an additive tool that makes it easier for me to do the things that I'm already doing. And I feel like this lives in like that happy medium where it's very much a clear upgrade from like upgrade from how you would normally do things. But it's not overbearing in the fact that it doesn't completely take over my computer and it doesn't like do shit for me. Like I don't want that. I just that's not what I find most value about these AI tools until they get to a point where it's like, oh, you're actually legitimately like smarter than me at everything, not just like one specific. You're head and shoulders smarter than me of everything. There's no reason for me to even like think about doing things myself, which quite frankly is not the case. So let's see, where is it at? So it called JDL. It called called JDL. Other than that, the only occurrence of static spaces in your left-hand side. So yeah, I mean, again, some tuning to do, some fine tuning to do, but it did catch one that probably missed the Farcaster count. But yeah, that's the whole idea with this feature. And as I refine things, it'll get better. It'll get as these local models are sort of very quickly outpacing the capabilities of like the large local models for sure, but even the very small ones that run on Transformers.js, they are incredible. They're getting more and more powerful every month. So as sort of this system gets built out, it'll get increasingly better as I get the code base to a stable spot. I'm going to try to really start pushing this out more, but that is a overview of what Harness is. If you're watching, I implore you to try it out. Every time I put this in the hands of somebody else, they use it for something that I never would have thought of. My sister is in medical school and she was using it to study. She was showing it like the study material and it was creating Anki flashcards for her as she was scrolling and studying, which I thought was really cool. People use it to play chess. It's really good at playing GeoGuessr. There's a lot of things that I just give it to someone and see what they do with it, and I'm impressed every time. So if you are interested in this kind of thing, check it out. Try harness.ai. When you sign up, you get $5 of free inference, which will last you a fucking month. So play around with it. Let me know what you think. That is the most recent thing that I've been hacking on.
Boom. Well said. Man, I'm excited to try it. I already started. I tossed it over my cloud code screens and I said, what should I do? How should I manage these better? Because that's something that I'm trash at.
Yeah. And so, and the big thing that I'm working towards with this is context sharing between your desktop assistant and your Claude Code assistant. And I imagine if anyone uses a combination of the two, what do? You have this whole conversation with your desktop assistant, and then at the end you're like, make a markdown file so I can tell my Claude, so I can give my Claude all the context of this conversation. That sucks because it always misses.
Summarizing it,
like the summary is good, but it always misses shit. Or like you're having a whole conversation, so like
there's details that you need, right? Like the small things, the
very small things, or it over indexes on stuff. Like if you're having a conversation, you're having this fluid conversation, and you come across something where it's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. That's a bad idea. Forget about that. It's still in the context. So when it writes the summary, that thing that you told to forget about is still in the context, and then you give that to your Claude Code agent, and now it's working off of information that you thought was dropped, but it's not. It's still in there.
Yeah.
So what I'm working towards is an MCP that lets you share context between your Harness agent and your Claude Code agent. So basically, you would authenticate the MCP within your Claude Code agent, and anytime a memory gets saved to Harness, it would be able to transfer it to your Claude Code session, so that everything that you've seen, everything that you've done in like your web session is very easily portable to your Claude Code session. And to me, that's like the perfect workflow for me personally, and hopefully for other people. It's perfect for me, and hopefully it would be perfect for other people. That's what I'm building towards. But yeah, that is the thesis, the build. Definitely gonna get better over time. I've been super busy with everything, life, kid, wife, Bankr, harness, jiu-jitsu, you name it. So carving a little bit of time out for everything as an order of priority. But as I settle more into like the Bankr role and get more like sort of in a good groove and like learn everything that job requires of me, and then wrapping up all of the current engagements that I'm on and finding a good balance. You know, this will inevitably get better. But someone actually launched a token for me and like set me as a fee provider. And before I even like announced what I was making, there was like $3,000 in fees for me to claim.
Holy
like
shit.
Before that, and like since then, there's been a crazy amount of trading activity. I think it's like been like 4 ETH that I've been able to claim so far, and then like an equal amounts in the actual token, so at least 10K. So people, you know, are jazzed about the idea. People want to see it. Yeah, want to see it flourish. Want to see it proliferate. They're kind of getting on my ass to post more on Twitter about it and shit. But it'll come.
Amazing. No, I'm excited. We'll definitely have to do a session in July during the open build of using it during a build or two. Maybe me live streaming in some capacity and you coming in and being like, hey, maybe do this or that. And try it out this way. But I appreciate you and your busy schedule coming on, sharing some time with me, sharing some time with us, sharing some really cool things that you've been working on. And I'm excited to try out, and I hope you all do as well. So thank you for your time, Saltorious. Where can people reach out and catch you?
Catch me on Farcaster on Twitter, Saltorious.eth on Farcaster, Saltorious1 on Twitter. Hit me in the DMs, especially if you're building something. If you're building something and you're looking for just to get more eyeballs on it, if you're looking for distribution, if you're looking for funding, that is exactly what we do at Bankr. We are here to help. So shoot me a DM either on Farcaster or Twitter. I will get in contact with you. I'll check out what you're building. We can hop on a call. I can put you in touch with the rest of the Bankr team to see how we can help. But yeah, that is where you can find me.
I love it. Thank you, Saltorious. Thank you, everyone, for coming in, and we'll see you all later.
Cool.
Cheers.
This is Zal, keep it a Zali. From the Zal down, come proper. We eat rappers for lunch, and there's some left, we eat them for supper. I keep it a Zal, homie, a Zali. Heard the streets calling E3. I man to assignments, now the whole word here about me.